belly breathing. So with this one, we're actually, this one is used when we're needing an energy boost, or when we're needing to reduce tension, and we're needing to kind of get some energy out. Or if you're having to stay up and study late and work on a paper, but you don't want to take too much caffeine and then not be able to go to sleep, those types of things. So this can be something that's really helpful for bringing in more energy into your body instead of what we just did, which is sort of calming our body. And it does tend to look a little bit silly, the practice itself, and you'll see why when I demonstrate it. But just, you know, maintain an open mind, right, and kind of bring an attitude of curiosity to it and just silliness. When we all practice together, I will have us all face outward, so just know you're not going to have to be doing this, you know, where people are looking at you. And it's really not that bad. I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit. But there are basically three components to this. And the first is, and I'll demonstrate initially and then ask you to practice, but the first is just sitting on the edge of your seat. And you're going to be breathing quickly in and out through your nose. So it's important that we keep the mouth closed during this, otherwise, because we're breathing very fast and we don't want to hyperventilate. And so we're just going to be breathing in and out of our nose. Now, if you are having any congestion or anything like that, this might be difficult to do, and so you can be the best judge of whether you want to be breathing in and out of your nose that quickly if you have congestion. But so basically it's... Okay, so that's the breathing, mouth closed. And we will add some music to it when we get up and practice, but for right now. Then, to fully engage the body, we're going to add the arms to it. So like a bellows, like you use with a fireplace. So we'll add the arms to it, and then eventually we're going to add the legs to it. And this is just, again, to fully engage the body. So here you're bringing in air, and you're kind of invigorating your body. And so, I've already added the legs. The second step is just adding the arms. Third stage is adding the legs like that. If it's too much to add it all together, you can just do the first and second, or if you really just want to do the first, that's absolutely fine too, whatever you're comfortable with. But the purpose is just to be bringing that oxygen into your body, and we'll see afterwards if you think that this has an effect on waking you up a bit. So we're going to turn around, like I said, we'll stand up and face outward, and that way we're not looking at each other while we're doing it. And Leslie, do you mind? So we do have a little bit of music to play, and this one we're not going to do for 5 minutes. We're just going to do it for maybe 2 minutes because it does require quite a bit of energy. All right, so let's start with, in and out of the nose. Add the arms and the legs if you care to. All right, so you can do it. Go a little bit faster if you want to. Remember, keep your mouth closed. If you feel lightheaded at all, you can slow down. Try and engage the arms and the legs. A little bit longer. There, just a little bit longer. Okay, let's slow it down and bring it back, and then gradually return to your seats when you're ready. Okay, so you can tell that one you don't need to do for a very long time. It does take a lot of energy. So, reflections, observations on the dynamic breathing. As I mentioned, this is invigorating, meant to kind of awaken your body. Yes?
I kind of felt like I was blowing out more air than I was taking in.
Oh, okay. Yes. Anyone else feel that way too?
I felt like burning in my muscles. I could feel like the blood pumping. Mm-hmm. Like I could definitely feel like I was getting awake. Mm-hmm. Like, or becoming more awake, or like not as relaxed. Like it was definitely, if I was like down, I could definitely see how that would wake you up.
Yes, yes, I feel. Yeah, and I think too, maybe a little short of breath if, doing it so quickly, we may not feel like we're bringing in as much as we're blowing out. So you could try slowing down if you want, if you're feeling like short of breath, but it is engaging, like, you know, when you're doing physical exercise, so you might feel a little bit that way.
I have followed up sprinting across 10th Street. This is what I feel like. The music going and the whole bit.
I felt like I was like trying to keep like a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you feel like you got in a rhythm with your own body
Mhm.
and your breathing? Yeah.
I need to work on the coordination. Those other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was going to have you practice each step, but then you would have been facing each other, and I just thought, no, it would be better just to put it together at the end. But so you can practice that, and whatever parts that you felt comfortable with doing. And I mean, if you don't have a private space to do that in, if you're at the library or something, you can go into the restroom in a stall, and if you need to wake up. But it can be, it can be really helpful if, say, you have a break in between like a 3-hour class, right? And you're really, having trouble staying awake, go to the restroom during the break and do that, and hopefully that'll help you stay engaged for the rest of the class or needing to stay up and study. What about differences in how your body feels now compared to after the belly breathing? Yes.
During the first exercise, I found myself yawning quite a bit, and then this time my body felt, okay, well, you know what, you don't have to try as hard to focus on the breathing, and I didn't have to yawn.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I definitely feel like it's easier to focus and listen to what you're saying than it was in the beginning.
Okay. Interesting. So, and I do think that folks have found that too when we do the walking meditation. When there's some kind of movement involved, it gives you another focal point. And there was a lot to focus on. You had to be engaged in your breathing, your arms and your legs, and listening, and the music was going. So there was a lot to attend to. So you're absolutely right. It was probably your mind probably wasn't wandering, because you're also probably like, how long do we have to do? But yeah. So but yeah, the yawning probably didn't come up as much. Okay. Well, so again, just we're trying to give you different techniques that you can use depending on sort of what you're feeling you need in a particular moment. So a different sort of repertoire of a toolbox, so to speak. Okay.